I'm Ian Porter. I'm the Principal Research Scientist with DPI Victoria and an Associate Professor at La Trobe University. But one of my roles is to co-chair the United Nations Methyl Bromide Technical Options Committee, which decides on the submissions for critical use exemptions of methyl bromide to keep using methyl bromide in developed countries. Methyl bromide is an ozone depleting gas, and it was listed as a major ozone depletant in 1992 under the Montreal Protocol, under the Copenhagen Amendment of the Protocol. And that meant that it was destined to be phased out in developed countries by 2005 and in developing countries by 2015. As it was such an important gas and product for agricultural fumigation, both soils and commodities, they created a separate process under the Montreal Protocol to allow critical use exemptions of methyl bromide because of the economic disruption it could cause and the technical loss that they could get from diseases and weeds and pests on their crops. So under the protocol, it was meant to be phased out. We now analyse all those critical use exemptions, and we then give them an allowance for use of the product and recommendations to the parties. And the parties of the protocol decide on who can use and who can't use. So it's an amazing protocol, the Montreal Protocol. It's the most successful international protocol ever of any protocol. Every country in the world is a signatory to the Montreal Protocol, which very few people know. There's 88% to 90% of the ozone depleting gases have been phased out, and that's had a huge impact on the world already for climate, not just ozone depletion. So the gain that's been made by 2010 was, with the phase out of the ODS, was equivalent to 6 times that of Kyoto. So if all the parties had signed Kyoto, this was 6 times that gain for the world for climate. Not ozone gain, but for climate change, greenhouse gas effects. So there's been a great benefit of the Montreal Protocol and regulation of halogens. It was successful because, one, they set up a convention where parties could meet and negotiate. The second one was that they set up a mechanism for funding developing countries. So there was fairness in the protocol. So there's a multilateral fund which allows the developing countries to be paid to get out of methyl bromide use. And that meant that the developed countries were helping them as well as doing their own job to get rid of the product, and that really helped. The other thing that helped was that there was a structure set up where they had rigorous scientific debate, and hence the committees that we are part of, and that debate allowed for consensus views to be put forward with strong technical backup, and that was really important. So all the models they talk about in climate change now, where they say this does this damage, this does this damage, they were all validated under the Montreal Protocol. The models were put in place, and the technical people then validated that the models were correct. And we need to do the same for climate now, not in 10 years' time. We all need to act now and use the Montreal Protocol as a nice lesson.